Alright, so today I'm going to answer the essential question for Romeo and Juliet. What is more compelling, the head or the heart? So I'm going to start my thesis, or just general essential question, with a claim frame. And a claim frame is basically a format of claim that starts off your thesis or writing with a universal statement from the play that not only proves your claim, but uses a message or your central question to craft a universal statement that applies to not just the play, but to everything, everyone. So, for example, for my claim frame for my essential question, I'm going to say, in the play Romeo and Juliet by William Shakespeare, the playwright suggests that the heart is more compelling than the head, and that people's impulsive, more emotional urges cause them to act in more radical, rash, and different ways. This is a way of not only kickstarting your writing and your thesis, but also using your essential question as the way to express your point at a more universal and basic level to the reader. When answering an essential question, one way to really bring it to life, to find the reason and the answer for this essential question, is to find the complexity in the text or story. For example, in Romeo and Juliet, our essential question is, what is more compelling, the head or the heart? Romeo's impulsive decision to overthrow Rosalind's grip on his mental and his resolve to enter the Capulet party while disregarding the dangers and knowing full well what could happen if he was caught was overridden by his raw emotion and need for a partner. Her unrequited love awoke the most raw primal emotions in him, and he disregarded common sense in using his heart to navigate his actions. This complex statement is one way of really bringing our essential question to life, and the more you unpack the text, the more complex statements you can find to really bring to life your essential question. So, another way to explore growing essential question is to refer to another essential question that I've been tracking since the beginning of the play. This essential question is it a love story or a lesson? Romeo and Juliet, when you apply the lens of our growing our EQ and that idea, can be clearly seen as a lesson of the danger of impulsive thought and action. When someone follows their heart and not their head, and chooses to follow their impulsive actions, they can, without knowing it, perform actions and do things that they would never do when thinking clearly, and that could be dangerous to themselves and the people around them. This lesson from Shakespeare shows that our essential question is relevant, and that the heart being more compelling than the head is a recurring theme in the play. One example of the heart being more compelling from the head is a short story that is part of our coursework called Sucker. In the story Sucker, Pete's cousin, whose parents tragically died in a car accident, came to live with Pete and his family, and looked up to Pete as a role model and admired him. Pete could tell Sucker to do the most rash and dangerous things, and Sucker would complete them without any question, which is how he earned his nickname. This shows that our impulsive desires and raw emotions can lead us to act in different ways. When William Shakespeare includes quotes from Friar Lawrence, like describing Romeo's affection for Rosalind and quick impulsive decision to marry Juliet as violent love, this is Shakespeare's way of showing us how the heart can be more compelling than the head, and that's what will make those emotions dangerous. In any type of argumentative or persuasive writing, a great way to end your writing or argument is to use an aha statement. An aha statement is a closing statement that brings your piece of writing to rest and leaves the reader with one satisfying thought that encompasses your entire argument and lets them say aha after they're done reading it. I've written an example of an aha statement here. Romeo and Juliet displays how the heart can be more compelling than the head. I lay down my general claim first, and then I progress with my statement. And that statement that encompasses my argument and completes it is based off my claim. And I've already provided evidence for my claim. And by displaying the outcomes of following the impulsive and rash emotions of your heart, you're susceptible to danger following. Following the heart can be easy, but your inner emotions could lead you to the point of no return. I've provided a universal statement and a closing statement that answers the essential question of was it more compelling following the head or the heart, and answers the question of whether it's a love story or lesson by showing how the play points out that following the heart can be dangerous. That is a lesson. So all in all, this aha statement right here is completely covers and answers the questions of the argument and leaves the reader with one final thought before they put down the paper.